Hey, y'all know what time it is. Time to fall in with First Formation Morning Sports Talk. It's your boy Trey and my man Bishop. We here and we ready. So let's get ready to fall in. Bishop, what's good? Received report, fam.
What's going on? Report. How y'all doing, man? It's Thursday, man. We one day closer to the weekend. Our first weekend. Well, no, it's actually our second weekend of this new year because the first fell on a Saturday. But how y'all doing this morning, man? WGO. What's going on? What's going on? How y'all feeling, man? It's my man Trey and myself right here on the morning or the first formation, of course. And I'm glad to see that we got one person that made formation this morning. One person. So we got a lot of people out the ranks, Trey. We got a lot of people out the ranks, bro. A lot of people out the ranks this morning, man. So definitely gonna see some council statements coming. Or we better have some good excuses on why didn't nobody make formation this morning.
So, say, of course, if they're not here, then that means they get to miss out. So, saying the NBA was plenty of action in the NBA last night. Of course, a couple of key things came up in regards to certain topics in the NFL and certain things. So we're gonna do our best to get through the topics in which we had, but it's just like anything, saying a rhythm takes you and you go that way. And saying if it's not that pertinent, it could be give saved to the next day. So of course, Bishop, as we was just talking about before we got ready to get on, the situation, the AB situation, man. First, let me preface. I'm trying to wait to saying maybe some people. I hate putting the important information
before everybody.
I ain't got all my soul. All the information, all those that need the information here. Well, let's hit off with basketball.
Yeah, let's start off with basketball. Give people time to wake, get sleep out their eyes, and
because we want to make sure we don't give the people exactly what they want.
Right.
So let me see, pull up. So of course, a lot of NBA action last night. You had a couple of the great Dirk Nowitzki was afforded an opportunity to get his jersey retired last night. The 41 got put up in the Raptors. But saying before we get to that, let's take a look at what we had the scores as we had last night.
Well, the Nets beat the Pacers. The Pacers 129 to 121. And of course, my man Kyrie Irving came back into the building only because it was in Indiana. Because if the game was in New Jersey, of course, he wouldn't have been able to be on the court. But because it was in Indiana, Kyrie came on the court, man, and showed out a little bit, man. He got a significant amount of playing time. I was actually surprised. I didn't expect him to get 32 minutes of playing time. You know what I'm saying? But again, he wasn't coming off an injury or anything of that nature. We just knew he wasn't playing because he chose not to get the vaccine. But I mean, man, they like I said, they won 129 or 121 over the Pacers. Kevin Durant had 39 points, 8 boards, 7 assists. James Harden had 18 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, and then of course Kyrie with 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. And they had six people in double digits? Yeah.
Seven people.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you're right. Seven people. Yeah, so they came out. It was good to see Kyrie on the court. I'm sorry, I'm about to say the field. On the court. You can see the difference with Kyrie on the court, Trey. You can see how that team was revitalized when Kyrie was on the court, man. It was a whole, it was Uncle Drew. Uncle Drew had came back, bro. Uncle Drew was on the court, man, showing out, man. Came out there and, he knocked down 22 points. And that was major. That was major for them, man. So, Kevin Durant spoke briefly about it, and he was like, man, it was good to have it was like he had his best friend back on the court playing ball with him out at Rutgers or something. So, it was good. KD was happy to see him back. A lot of people, I'm sure a lot of Nets fans, including myself, was happy to see Kyrie back. So it is what it is. And they got that huge win. Now the question is, how is it going to play into the season, being he's only able to play away games compared to being able to play home games as well? So that's the question at hand right now, and how is it going to pan out in the long run?
So it's like when we get to it exactly, because like we talked about the other day, where we was like, Patty Mills only got him got y'all 9 points. In this game, he only got y'all 6 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. So,
Mhm.
but I mean, on the opposite side of the spectrum, the 22 points in which Kyrie had might have been distributed amongst other people, or maybe Patty Mills would have got them points. But of course,
I
like you
don't know
said,
about all that now because Patty he had 0 points the other night.
so it's just just wait for just wait for that. But like you say, I guess it was refreshing to see Kyrie on the court again. And as they stated, it was stated that he was going to get as much time as they could give him. Like you said, he wasn't coming off an injury; he was just coming off and not playing. So of course, like most athletes, especially those that can get the call at any time, you try to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. And Kyrie was able to show 32 minutes, 22 points last night that he was ready to go. I'm very sure once he got the jitters off and got a couple of runs up and down the court, he was ready to go. Interestingly enough, when we're talking about stay ready so you ain't got to be ready, Lance Stevenson last night put on a spectacle. Like Lance basically last night had a hell of a first quarter. His first 6 minutes, Lance Stevenson dropped 22 points in the first quarter in their game. He ended up finishing with 30 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Was a couple of error turnovers in which he had that kind of showed that rust over, but they put forth the effort. For a second, I thought the Indiana Pacers were going to basically walk away or win this game. Miles Turner, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. They were paced, however, by Sabonis, 32 points, triple double, 32 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. But like I said, the story, although it was overshadowed by Kyrie's return, Lance Stevenson, 20 points in the first quarter. Correction, 20 points in the first 6 minutes of the game. As I said, finishing with 30 points for
The
the game,
evening. Yeah.
the evening. Yeah. So, did you find that interesting? Or would you basically just completely on Kyrie? Like,
No, I
saying,
did find that interesting because we know Lance Stevenson, he signed a 10-day contract with
mm-hmm,
the Pacers and came out there and not the only game. He had another great game prior to this game, the game
mm-hmm,
before this. So Lance Stevenson is
it's
obviously
showing.
showing improve on why he should be signed a major deal with whatever team he ends up going to, if he ends up staying in Indiana or whatever. But yeah, he came out there and balled out. You know what I'm saying? He came out there and balled out with the 30 points, 3 rebounds and 5 assists. Lance Stevenson played a great game. I mean, Bonus had 32, Sykes had 18, Washington had 10. So, they gave the Nets a game without a question. They definitely gave the Nets a game. But of course, yeah, everybody was definitely more focused on Kyrie, being in Kyrie, first game back since
Yeah.
in a while. So everybody was excited to see Kyrie on the court. And he came out and gave people a show. He gave people a show.
So what was interesting, what we was talking about, Lance going 20 points in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Green, however, on the other side of the spectrum, in the 76ers game last night, 76ers is end up winning 116 to 106.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Green, 24 minutes in play. He didn't score any points, record any rebounds, record any assists.
He
This is
sounded a lot like Patty Mills.
this is
24 minutes and zeros.
seemingly becoming more of a situation where players on teams. We're not talking about saying players off the bench. We're talking about starters or people who are starting that are basically coming on they're coming off the bench, in which they're not contributing. In which
Mm-hmm.
saying, like, of course they end up having 5 or 6 players in double figures.
Mm-hmm.
Led the way, of course, Joel Embiid, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And then followed with Steph Curry and Korkmaz both scoring 20 points apiece. So, I mean, they were paced, other words, but what if they was looking for points for Danny Green as a starter? Like, what what do you do at that point? The Magic, their number one scorer, 26 points from Cole Anthony. They had about 7 players in double figures, but of course, the object of the game is to score more than your opponent, and in this
Mm-hmm.
case, the
They
Magic
came
was
up
able
10
to do
points
so.
short. Yep, they came up 10
Yeah,
points short. Yeah.
so,
I mean, Danny Green, man. I think it's Danny Green time to let it go, bro. To be honest with you.
really.
I do. I think Danny Green's time is gone, man. How many teams has Danny been on now?
Uh,
It's been
so
quite
so
a few
check. You
teams,
gotta
bro.
think he's been every team he's been on. He's been a champion. So but he
Yeah.
has played. He played a couple. He played his first years with San Antonio. He was a
Mm-hmm.
part of the Kawhi Leonard trade from San
Mm-hmm.
Antonio to Toronto. Then he won a championship. Left Toronto. Went to LA. Won a championship in LA. And then left LA and went to Philadelphia, where he is currently. So Philadelphia is his first stint, and so far the first team in which he's been on, in which he hasn't won a championship. So
Right. 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 I don't know, man. For me, it's crazy. Um, I don't know. We just
what up, Key? What up, Key? How you doing, fam?
what up, Key? What's going on, bro? How you living?
Yes, sir. Happy Thursday to you as well.
Happy Thursday, bro. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Yeah, Danny is yeah. We'll see. I don't know. His contract is probably negotiable with zeros across the books and not scoring any points, bro, or no points, no rebounds, no assists. Like, what were you doing on the court? Like, how do you not get nothing? You can't get a long rebound. You can't help it and you can't even get a steal. Can you give me a steal, man?
It's
Did he have a foul?
fall in your
Did he at
lap or
least
something.
did he at least get a foul? Put something in the books, bro. Put something in the books. You didn't even get a. Did you even get a foul?
At least getting a foul shows that you was going for a
Yes, bro.
rebound or
Do
something like
something,
that.
bro.
You made an attempt to do something.
Do something, bro. I need you to do something. What's going on, Vanessa? They appreciate you, man, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you.
Hey,
Man, yeah. Can we do something, man? Can we get something from you, bro? Something. Anything.
he had one foul. That's what Keith said. He had one foul.
Yeah,
Yes,
one foul.
it's
Okay,
funny.
appreciate
It's
you.
funny. It's funny. He says that like Tony Snell. That hasn't happened since Tony Snell in 2000. I think it was 16 or maybe a little further, in which he was in his game. He was in the game for say about 20 minutes and didn't attest or pick up a single stat. Like
That's crazy, bro. I feel
I
like I can get in
understand.
the game
And I was
and
about to say,
stat.
that's funny you say that because I was about to say, we sit back and you know, what I'm saying we hear, we give analysis on things in which we've seen, and I know he's a professional, you know, but at the same time, as a professional, that's your craft. Like unless they
Mm-hmm.
just put the clamps on you, or you know, what I'm saying it's not like trying to it's not like trying to the quarterback trying to get you the ball. Like
Mm-hmm.
at some point, I'm very sure the ball touched his hands.
Oh yeah, I
And
mean he got his hand on the ball, man, and you know what I'm saying. He got his hand on the ball some way, form, or
but
fashion.
he
I don't
didn't
care if
take
it
a
was a
shot. He
jump
didn't pull
ball.
the
I don't
trigger.
care if he took the ball out of bounds. He got his hand on the ball some way, form, or fashion. Now, whether he had whether he had an open jump shot or he was able to try and get a layup or
And that can happen,
it's just
Keith.
hard for me to believe that you played that amount of minutes and you did not take one shot or you did not go to the rack, you didn't get, something, man. Like that's hard to believe. Ben Simmons can at least get a point.
Yeah, he ain't even
Exactly.
playing. And he ain't even
Exactly,
playing right
Key.
now. He probably would have got it.
Exactly. Yeah. From the sideline, Big could have probably got a point off the bench. A point, assist, something. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's going on, Irma? Appreciate you watching.
What's
Thank
going
you.
on, Irma? How you doing?
So, yeah, that's just interesting enough. Something else that's interesting, like last night, the Raptors were victorious against the Milwaukee Bucks. They improved their record 18-17. Milwaukee was dropped to 25-15.
Mm-hmm.
So but what's interesting in this is,
well, we know the Greek Freak didn't play.
yes, that's of course that's
That's
interesting.
key.
Chris
Yeah.
Middleton led the team with 25 points,
Which is
6
expected.
rebounds, 4 assists. But DeMarcus Cousins is basically he's going to be waived. He's been waived. He's waived. He's no longer on the team.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they basically released him so they can clear a roster
Cap
spot.
space? Yeah.
well, not even cap space, a roster
That's the
spot.
spot. What?
Yeah, a roster spot. So now, you know what I'm saying? So DeMarcus Cousins will no longer be in
Milwaukee.
yeah, I see you, Key. You say just can't catch a break, and that's a good question, Key. Like, I wonder why is it in which DeMarcus can't get a break, especially when he was productive. He was very productive for the 76 for
For the
Milwaukee.
Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta even think last night he dropped 15 and 10, or yesterday he dropped 15 and 10. So I don't understand what happened, and I'm trying to pull up the comment in which the GM said last night after they basically released him. He said we wouldn't have been able to get through this difficult stretch of the season as successfully as we did without DeMarcus. He was so good to us, and hopefully we helped him too. He helped us, and so hopefully we helped him too.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it's like, is that what we're coming to? And it's a tough business when you look at it. Like, it's all about
It
business.
is. It's
So
all it's all business. We all know
it
that.
brings back that thing when you talk about loyalty. Like, you know what I'm saying, how far does
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, Brandon? Yeah, true
What's
enough.
up, man?
We're talking about a guy that's been on multiple teams. That's true.
Facts.
But has he
But
a lot of
so hasn't Danny Green. So hasn't Rondo. So hasn't so many other players that's been on so many other teams. I mean, he can get you some good numbers if he's healthy, and that's the key.
yeah,
You're right.
and that's what
If
he's
he can
talking
get
about.
healthy,
So what just like we was talking about just like we was talking about being on other teams, Brandon, when you take that into consideration,
chemistry.
the teams in which he has been on, when he was with LA, he was injured and he came back late. When he was with Golden State, he was injured. So those injuries have really put a damper on his situation, in which now he has been bounced around he's played in LA, he's played with the Lakers, he's played with the Clippers, he recently played with the Bucks. I think he was yes, he's becoming a journeyman, but still, that's just a bad break, especially when he was productive. So I would be interested to know what is going to be, or who is going to be potential the roster set to clear space on the roster. I wonder who's going to end up being the person in which that they would potentially sign in that spot.
That's interesting.
That's going to
That
give
is,
more
because he did, like you said, more production
mm-hmm.
than what DeMarcus give you. Yeah, because like you said, he had a double last night. He had 10 boards and 15 points. So it is going to be interesting to see who they trying to bring in to fill his shoes, being that they've let him go. That is very interesting.
The Raptors, Pascal Siakam led the Raptors in that game with 33 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in the 42 minutes of play. He got 220 pieces from OG Abagu and Gary Trent within 30 minutes of play. So I mean, it was they had opponent five men in double figures. The Raptors were able to give some production. Of course, you see it got them to win. So like, shout out to saying DeMarcus Cousins. Unfortunate. I would even like, as we was talking yesterday about AD. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna go as far as to say that. I was about to say, hey, bring AD's out right now. Bring him back to LA. Let's run it back.
Oh, bring DeMarcus to LA, being the AD is out.
Yeah, well, he was there. He was there initially.
Yeah.
He got injured in the beginning of the season.
Right. Yeah. That, I mean,
Isaiah currently, if I'm correctly, Isaiah's in with the Mavericks currently.
Isaiah Thomas. You talking about Isaiah Thomas? Yeah.
Brandon was saying, bring. What about Isaiah to help out help the freak out?
I don't know. Would you? I don't know if that would be. I don't know if that's what they need. I really don't know if that's what they need to be out there out there in Milwaukee, man. I'm sure they need something, but I don't know if it's Isaiah Thomas that is the person to go out there and be that fill in. In my personal opinion, I don't know.
They currently have Portis that's playing the center. They probably need to bring in another big man, someone that's going to be versatile.
They definitely need.
Move. Yeah, they can move to different areas.
Yeah, they definitely need another big man down in the trenches. I totally believe that down in the post.
On the So
Yeah.
last night, of course, other games that were in action. Of course, we're gonna have a couple more items to talk about NBA. The Pistons were lost to the Hornets, 140 to 111. The Rockets were victorious versus the Wizards, 114-111, in which Kevin Porter Jr. was able to hit a nasty step back 3-pointer to win the game.
To close that game out
Yeah,
was
close it out.
huge.
The
That was huge.
Spurs edged out the Celtics 99-97. The
Mm-hmm.
Golden State Warriors were not able to get the win as they played the Mavericks on what was a celebratory night for Dirk Nowitzki, as he had his number 41 for ace placed into the Raptors and retired by the Dallas Mavericks. In that game, of course, the Luka Doncic had, I can't see it. Luka Doncic finished with 26 points, in which he was the leading scorer, eight assists, 7 rebounds. He was assisted by Jalen Bronson, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. It was I didn't catch that game actually. Oh no, I did catch that game. It was a back and forth. Of course, your man struggled. Steph Curry
Steph
is
Curry had a bad night.
two of
That's
19 from 3-point range
yeah, he had a bad
the
night.
last 2 nights after he
Yeah.
had set the 3-point NBA all-time 3-point record
Yeah,
ablaze, but now he's struggling.
he's struggling. He's been on a decline since he set that record. He's been on a decline. I think I saw yesterday he was 8 for 21 in the last 2 games from 3-point line. So yeah, he's definitely declined since he set that record, and it may be just a little foam right now. I'm sure he'll find his way. Definitely can't wait to see once Klay comes back, how his production goes. What happens to his production? Does he find his way back in and find his shot again? But yeah, being that Steph didn't do his norm, that's probably pretty much what cost them the loss against Dallas. But then again, you got to keep in mind, it's crazy when they do these retirements of people's number and things like that. It's hardly seldom you see that team lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
That game, especially if it's when it's at their home arena or their stadium and stuff. You just like with Ben, it was a close game on that Monday night game, but Ben still pulled out the win on Monday night over the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knew that was Ben's last home game, possibly in the NFL. So it's hard to win a game when they're recognizing a former player of greatness. So it is what it is. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure Steph is not dwelling on it. I'm sure he's concerned because like you say, this is not just the first game that he's had a bad game. He's had a few bad games since, like we said, since he broke the record. So, but I feel like he'll bounce back. He got just a couple more days before Klay comes back, his splash brother, and maybe he'll get back to his old self again.
So we're to go back just a little bit. Actually, while we're still in this game, also what was important to Dirk is Mark Cuban, of course, owner. Everyone knows Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban had revealed the statue in which he's going to put in front of the arena. So, do you think it's much? Like, is Dirk deserving of a statue?
Everybody don't need a damn statue, bro. I don't feel like it's gonna be a bunch of statues everywhere, all over the place. Like, seriously, like everybody doesn't deserve a statue. Jordan has a statue. Now everybody got to have a statue. No, everybody doesn't deserve a statue. Magic don't have a statue.
No, Magic has a statue. He is in front of. There's a couple of statues in front of. Yeah, there's a couple of statues in front of now the crypto.com.
Crypto.com.
Yeah. So he has one. Kareem has one.
Like
Kobe has one. We gotta take a trip there. Kobe has one. I think Shaq. Anyway. You trying to get to the West Coast in general? Las Vegas,
I've
LA.
Been there. I've been there. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I've been there. I got my degree from from there. I walked in San Diego, but Yeah. I'm trying to get the frat out there, man. I'm trying to get us out
Yes,
there
sir.
in the color, trying to get the blue and orange out there. But anyway, well, I do agree though. That everybody does not need a statue, man. I don't feel like every person deserves a statue in front of their arena.
So in this particular instance, I have some because I mean Dirk brought him a championship.
He
Technically,
did.
he
He
brought him a
did.
championship.
He did.
Um,
One of the
and I was
best
about to say
3-point shoot
big,
one of
yeah,
the
big.
best big man 3-point shooters that ever graced the court, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
So
Outside of maybe Kevin Durant now.
So when we look at that, I think for the Mavericks organization, I think Dirk might but there's other players like we got the Alex and they got the Englishes, they got Nash. I don't know if he's deserving of one. He did win MVP there.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Kidd got
Jason
he
Kidd,
also helped them. He's a Hall of Famer, but Dirk, his number is retired, and now he will be one of the first Maverick players to be honored with a statue in front of the arena. So shouts out to Dirk, he did much.
Shouts out to Dirk.
Yeah,
did much. I just
21 years with one team, top 10.
Another one, yes, that's huge too. He played his whole career with Dallas.
Top 10 all time scorer. So or I think he might be on the outside of it.
And maybe and if you look at it like that, now that I think about it, if you look at it like that, if you are a person or player who's been with one organization, one franchise your entire career, okay, maybe that is deserving of a statue, especially with the accolades in which you have attached along with it. So maybe Dirk does deserve that. I'll give him that because he was with that one team his entire career. So yeah, I'll recant my previous statement and say
shout out to the German. Shout out to the German.
Yeah.
So going back,
mm-hmm.
Kyrie is back. He showed 22, like we said, 22 points in the 32 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say, and please, like I said, post your thoughts and comments in the chat section, please. Do you think Kyrie is a top 3 PG?
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. He just got back. Are you serious?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. You didn't say do I think he's a top 3 that just came back?
Like that.
You said do I think he's a top 3 PG? Yes, I do.
Well, okay,
I absolutely do.
Let me narrow it down though.
Let's change the question.
Year.
Yeah, let's do that then, Mr. Trey. Thank you, sir. Let's change the question since
for this
you don't
year.
Like my answer.
Do you think that Kyrie Irving is a top 3 point guard, or is going?
No.
Yeah, no, okay,
not now. I can't. You're right.
Because I'm about to say you've been on your man, that bad man in Memphis.
Right.
I'm about to say
he can't be not right now because he hasn't played. That last night was his first game. He cannot be that person this season right now. Now, coming up to going into the All-Star break, and after the All-Star break, it's a whole new ball game.
Well, I think he's gonna be trying hard because at this point
he's still only playing away games.
Yeah, only away games. Right. In which I wonder if it's any away games in which he's going to run into, in which they have a hard line on vaccinations and people and workers and stuff like that. So those same numbers can diminish depending upon their schedule. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, for the rest of the season.
Right.
So I know in your neck of the woods, Nets need to.
Nets need to be a lower seed so they can have more away games than home. Hey, Brandon, you know what?
Oh, hell, there you go.
Brandon, that's not, you know what? That would be very, very interesting if they did that because of Kyrie, only because of the fact of Kyrie. But still, though, Brandon, I get what you're saying. It's still a matter of fact, though, when they do make it to the playoffs, they still got to come home and play. And now you're without him. So it's cool. You may have them for 2 to 3 games on the road, but then those 2 or 3 games that you have to come back home and play, you don't have him. So it's kind of like still shooting yourself in the foot. It's cool to have him on the road, but you need him at home too. You're gonna need them to close because what if that last game? Well, depending on the record, 9 times out of 10, the last game ain't gonna be.
All you gotta do is win. If you win,
gotta win the road game.
if they win, if they win the road games and they win, all they need to do is
win. But then when the finals come, if you was to make it to the finals, what's up?
It depends.
Facebook page,
Facebook user, shout out Facebook user. What's up? So, true enough, if they're a lower seed, they're their lowest seed, then technically they're gonna stay below any other one else as long as no other lower seed wins. So I mean, I could see the strategy in it.
Right.
If it came down to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In which you have to just make sure but you have to make sure you steal one of those. You have to steal. You have to win a home game at least. Yeah, you have to win.
You would have to steal all of them, to be honest,
and to use it because, or at least you got to be. You have to at least steal 2 away, and you have to win all your home games. If not, then you know what I'm saying, it's a wrap.
Right. Yeah, but that makes sense though, bro. And I see where you're going with it. I definitely see where you're going with it. That definitely makes sense. I could definitely see that. If I was KD and James Harden and people like that, I would probably take that in consideration and be like, all right, look, guys, we are our best when we have Kyrie, and being that we don't have Kyrie here at home, we only get Kyrie on the road. It might be in our best ability, not necessarily to throw games, but in other words, maybe do whatever it takes to ensure that we got Kyrie for the playoffs in key moments. So I don't know. Win one home all the way. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yes. That's exactly what would have to happen. You would have to win one at home and then all the away games. That's what I was saying. You would have to win one home game and win all the away games, which could be very difficult.
Yeah,
trying to win all games on the road.
Because basically you're saying that Kyrie is going to be that equalizer or that affected to where he's going to help to will y'all to win all 3 away games, and you just have to basically do your job at home and get at least one. So
which is crazy because you're looking at Kyrie. That means he would get even more rest than his teammates. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not playing them home games compared to his team playing home games. So he would be the freshest legs on the court, going on those away games. So that would be very interesting, man. That is something that was major right there, Brandon. That was major.
So were you able? Did you catch? Correction. Let me go ahead. Moving on. So last night, of course, we had the Heat versus the Trailblazers. The Heat were able to pull out the 115-109 victory as the Heat improved 21, 24, and 15. Trailblazers dropped to 14 and 23. Mm-hmm. In the waning moments of the game, you had another scuffle. The center Nurkic from the Trailblazers set a pick. Yeah, he set a pick on Tyler Hero, and Hero took some offense to it, and ran as Nurkic rolled to. It was a pick and roll. He rolled to the basket, although the roll did look late. He rolled to the basket. When he got to the basket, Hero pushed him in the back. Nurkic turned around and took a swing at Hero, in which, of course, the scuffle was assumed. Nurkic ended up being ejected. Mm-hmm. Of course, it was at the game. He already did whatever damage he could do. Like you said, it was too little, too late. He's finished with 14 points, 13 rebounds, 1 assist. But of course, they were led by Anthony Simmons and Norman Powell, 28, 26 points respectively. The Heat were led by Max Struss, with 6 players in double digits. Tyler Hero finished 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. So again, we have a situation in which players are getting into scuffles, and it's been a couple players that have come on record to state that no one wants to fight. Why are we fooling ourselves? Why are we doing this? Like, right. What is the reason for it? Now, although he smacked him upside his head, I will say that. So I don't know.
I didn't see that. I missed that.
Sometimes these these players from overseas, they are about that.
They have a chip on their shoulder, man.
Yeah,
I really feel like these foreign players come over here and they play with a chip on their shoulder, because I feel like I think this dates back all the way back when Tony Kukoc came in to play with
The
the
Bulls.
Bulls. Yeah, everybody was high on the Bulls. If you've seen the story about the Last Dance and all, and Mike and them talking about how Tony Kukoc, how everybody was so high on Tony Kukoc, and they had to kind of like bully him, beat him down, and show him that, hey, this are you might be able to play ball over there in Europe or wherever you was at, but don't come over here with that nonsense, bro, because we ball here in the States. We ball here in the States, man. So when you bring your butt over here, we're gonna give you that business. And I think that's just has transcended to the point that a lot of foreign players have a chip on their shoulders, man. I feel like they have a chip. They come into the league. They feel like they're in a way kind of like owed something. They feel like they're on the same level as the players in the States. And not saying that they're not. It's just like it's a different. We all know it's a different style of play. Would you say not, Trey, and compared to
Oh,
overseas
definitely.
here?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
It's
so
I think of course it's a little more. There's a couple of different rules, of course, like cylinders and as
right.
far as when it comes in the FIBA type play, but it's definitely different. You got to think some of them players over there are as young as our children.
Right.
You know what I'm
And they
saying?
start playing. Yeah,
And
they
they
playing
start
early.
playing. So
Yeah, they
again,
playing early.
but there of course there's a lot of physical play and all that. So it's a different game over there, definitely. So but like you said, they come over with chip on their shoulder because it's a different type of style. They might see that the American players are a little more finesse type
Mm-hmm.
for the majority of them, and so saying maybe that's why some of those players are able uh, get to make a difference or adapt to the game swiftly. Like you just had one had won the MVP last year. Then you got the players like the Luka Doncic's
Mm-hmm.
and the Sabonises and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, to where
Mm-hmm.
they're coming to the States. Giannis, what I'm saying, they're coming to the States, and once they get
Greek
into the
freak.
system, once they get into the system, they learn, and they're adaptive, and now they kind of could use the best of both worlds. So
I think and one of the biggest things for them, for the players coming from overseas, is the fact that they're trying to get that respect. They want the respect that they feel they deserve from any other NBA player. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And I feel like they don't. I feel like they feel they don't get that respect coming out and coming into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Simply because of the fact they're coming from overseas. And I
mhm,
feel like they're trying to earn their respect, and they feel like with that chip, I'm going to earn my respect because this way. I'm not finna let you punk me. I'm not finna let you do whatever the hell you choose like you want to do. I'm gonna throw some little nasty jabs here and there to let you know I'm here. And in return, we gonna retaliate as we do as Americans in regards to being on the court. We ain't finna let no outsider come in and do no foul stuff to any one of our players, include or ourselves, and then just let them get away with it. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
That's just how I feel about it. But you know, and like I said, I think that dates back all the way back to Tony Kukoc. It might even date back further than that. You know what I'm
Oh, you
saying?
had players like Drazen Petrovic, shout out, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Dirk
it's in the work.
Nowitzki's,
Yeah.
you got people that go way back. You know what I'm saying? We got a deadlift shrimps and all of them. We got people that go way, way, way back. And again, and it's probably something that's probably gonna be like that. That'll probably never change because of the fact, the different play in between the two, the states and overseas.
hmm So on to other action, the NBA, Utah Jazz were victorious, going extending their record 28-10 versus the Denver Nuggets. They won 115-109. Nuggets fall to 500 as an 18-18. In this game, of course, you had last year's MVP Nikola Jokic lead the way for his team, 26 points, 21 rebounds, 11 assists in the triple 2020 triple 2020 and 10 triple double, which he done last year. He was Monte Morris accompanying him with 20 points, one assist, one rebound, two assists, as well as Will Barton, 20 points, 4 rebounds and 5 assists. Of course, the Nuggets was clicking on all cylinders. Bojan Bogdanovic, 36 points, 13 points and 4 rebounds. Correction, 4 assists in a double-double with the in his double-double, as well as Royce O'Neal with 13 points, 11 rebounds. The Nuggets were pretty close last year, or was presumably until they lost Donovan Mitchell and then they was bounced out. Do you think the Nuggets this is a prime opportunity for the Nuggets to stake their dominance and kind of make a push and get back to where everyone thought they was going to be last year?
They need to, because you said they're 500 right now, and they need to.
No, oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I said the Nuggets.
You meant the Jazz.
I meant the Jazz.
Right?
Yeah.
No, now the Jazz, them boys, they are forced to be reckoned with, man. The Jazz, them boys is balling. They are balling out there in Utah, and I do think they need. Yeah, they right now they're trying to show like, look, last year was not a fluke. We are who we are, and we want y'all to know that. And we bringing it again, just like we brought it last year. We're bringing it again this year, and we coming. Utah has a great chance, man. That squad is doing major things out there, and I think they have a chance again to be right where they were last year, if not further. I do feel like Utah is a good team, and they got great chemistry out there in Utah.
So I see that as we said, the Spurs currently 15 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
Currently 15 and 22. Won last night 99-97 over the Boston Celtics, who are now 18 and 20. Now Boston had an opportunity to win the game. It was an errant pass. Jaylen Brown got. Oh my goodness, he went up and under, and then just barely. It was on the corner of the rim.
Came off the rim, bro. At least had it. Well, it wasn't gonna win it. It would have tied it at least.
Yes.
Tied the game for him and put him in at least in the overtime.
Put an opportunity to go to overtime.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? But with that win, Greg Pop Smoke Popovich.
Pop.
2,000 career wins, 2,000 games, coach. And that, not 2,000 wins. Oh, I don't want to think people like, damn, 2,000 games, coach, with one team. 26 seasons, Greg Popovich has amounted a 13 and 25 winning record, 675 losses in 26 seasons. What do you say for this type of longevity? Do you think it gets the point? Huh?
Does he get a statue?
he just might. You're gonna look up. You're gonna be on what's that? Is that I-20? Is it on 20?
What is it on? 30
is it 35?
35.
Yeah, you're gonna look 35. Up on I-35 and you're gonna see Pop standing there.
Yeah, so he gonna get a statue too. He get a statue. I mean that's a huge feat, man. Mad shouts out to Coach Pop, man, for doing what, probably one of the most liked coaches in the NBA, man, without question, man. Everybody loves Pop, man. It's something about that man that everybody loves about Popovich, and that's a great accomplishment, especially being with one team. That's huge. Like, that's huge. That's phenomenal. Your question was what though, Trey?
Do you think 26 seasons as a coach, the same team?
God,
do you think the coaching styles, because Coach Pop is known for a certain style of coaching, that people didn't think that was even indicative for the style of play for the U.S. Olympic team this year, last year. Mm-hmm. So in 26 seasons, even as for his own team and coach, do you think that the style gets stagnant and stale, and it doesn't allow him to continue to be fresh and innovative, and it starts?
So are you saying is that the reason? Do you feel like are you saying that you feel like that may be the reason why their record is the way it is?
Or why they're coming because saying it's, of course, now he doesn't have, like, he had Hall of Famers basically.
He and that's so key. He had Hall of Famers. He did.
But then again, he had DeMar as well, who is ripping it up in Chicago. So
he had Cousins too.
Yes. So do you think? So do you think it's a situation in which it's Pop? It's not the players. It's
It may
Pop.
be, man. It may be because we all know, we've all heard, some people get stuck in their ways. Some people get stuck, some people still living in, they some coaches can't find their way to be able to adapt to what the new thing is within the league. And that could possibly be the case with Popovich. I mean, Popovich has been through loss of his wife, so many things in which he has going on. So, and I'm sure, I think it's even been mentioned that this might be Popovich's last season anyway, because they was talking about at one point, before Becky Hammons was headed into the WNBA as a head coach, that she would be the next and first head coach of the NBA. However, of course, just like I said, she's headed over into the WNBA to be a head coach. So
Los
of course
Angeles Aces.
yeah. So of course that's out the window now. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is Pop's last season. He's 26 years. That's a huge.
So
That's
you
a
down
huge
there in the San
pinnacle.
Antonio area?
Mhm.
Is it crazy down there with Pop, or is it?
Man, they love out here in San. They love them some Pop, bro. You better not say nothing bad about Pop out here, bro. You going to fight? You fighting? You fighting? You fighting out here, bro? You say something bad about Popovich, bro? They love Pop out here, bro. Every day, and I'm not surprised once he retires and steps away from coaching in the NBA. I'm sure they're gonna have some things that, whether it be a statue or not, or a street, the arena, something. Because right now I think it's AT&T or AT&T. I think it's called Arena right here now. They will find a way to put Popovich's name on something here in San Antonio, because there's no way you can't do that with 26 seasons under your belt. And how many? I think they got 3 NBA titles under him while he was here, 3 to 4
I
NBA
think so.
titles. So there's no way they will not be able to, solidify what he's done for the organization of the San Antonio Spurs, as well as the community in the city of San Antonio. So yeah, but yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I think it has a part to do with it. I think it is the fact that he's been there so long, and he's at an age where it's time probably for him to just say, okay, my time is done. I've done all I could do. It's time for me to move on. Pop is a good NBA coach. Don't put him in on the Olympics or FIBA.
True enough, Brandon.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah,
Facts.
Pop man, I salute that dude, man, because man, that's probably like one of the most humble, and like I said, he is one of probably the most like coaches in the NBA ever.
So, still in the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
back to the 76ers. Have you realized, and I did not realize this, and let me get your insight or your output on this.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Simmons has reached over $10 million in fines.
Ooh, no, I didn't know that.
Is that enough to where you's like, you know what? Let me keep my mouth shut, my head down, and go back and play? Or do you think it's a good statement? Like, he's just sticking to his guns, and it's like, I'm good. I'm gonna continue. This is my stance. Forget the money.
For
Let me
me,
give it
man,
back to him.
that's hard to say, and I think that's hard to say for anyone like us who don't make millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? When you get contracts for $250,000, 20 million, 30 million, 50 million, 60 million, $100 million, 10 million ain't nothing to you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like probably to them. I can't speak for them. I don't know, but I just feel like, because for me, bro, when they took 1 million, hey man, when the next practice, bro? I'm there, coach. Hey, can y'all give me the keys to the gym? I'll be there, coach, tomorrow. Hey, when y'all get there, I've been and already ran my laps. I done did my laps. I done did my suicides. I done did, I went through the plays, the playbooks. Man, really? 10 million, bro?
Think about this. Like, I don't know.
Man.
I hate to
Some
bring
people
up
don't
the,
see 10 million in a lifetime.
so I hate to bring up like anything negative or worst case like that. But of course, if those in the military, this like we talk about this for first formation, a lot of y'all was out of ranks. That being out of ranks sometimes can get you adverse action. And you're
Absolutely.
saying if it come down to Article 15s and stuff like that, which is the oil for the military army, it's
UCMJ.
their tool to punish or for punishment or UCMJs. They have a thing where depending upon what the infraction was, you can even get 45 days, a month. I mean, 45 days, 2 weeks. It depends on it. But they take your money, your rank, and your time.
Mm-hmm.
So in some cases, you lose a week's pay for 2 weeks, which amounts to a month's pay. And ain't no one losing. Like we said, over time, he's amounted at $10 million in fines. But that's saying that would be equivalent like being definitely he's not losing what I've had an Article 15 before. I was a young private, did some silly stuff, and they took my pay for 2 weeks. I got 14 days restriction, 14 days extra duty, and actually I didn't get my money taken, but it was suspended. It was suspended. I had a suspended bus where basically if I would have did something again,
jacked up again, they would have.
they would have took it, and then I could have got in trouble for the excuse me, for that in which I did to cause them to take it. So when you look at that, I didn't like getting my little change taken. I was a young
It wasn't
private
nothing but
when
some
it happened.
change for us.
Yeah, saying definitely it probably was pocket change, and he probably would just.
That's what he carried around in his pocket on a
daily. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So so that when I look at that and like Bishop was just saying, that's got to be crazy. And I'm very sure like anyone else that's been like Facebook users say 15, 15, 45, 45, and anything, you know what I'm saying? Like it comes in many different ways. 10 million.
That's a lot, bro. Like I say, some people don't see 10 million in a lifetime.
Someone, if you're in the chat, dudes, please chime in. What do you think about it? Is the stance worth it? Do you think the stance would be worth it? Or are you willing to give up 10 million or give them back 10 million of their dollars while you wait to see if they're going to trade you or get rid of you?
Trey, just really sit and y'all and everybody watching, y'all really sit and think about that. $10 million in just fines. $10 million. That means you could buy 10 houses at $1 million. Facts. Come on, bro. Just think about that.
20 at $500,000.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Or let's make it more sensible
crazy, man.
Let's make it more probably to a lot of us. How about $10,000? Who is willing to give up $10,000?
Let's put it in our tax bracket. Let's put it in our tax bracket. Yeah,
like 10,000. Like you know, what I'm saying you send it some of y'all upper hedge or upper management $10,000 for you to sit out because you feel like you've been wronged by your organization.
And you contract
and you want to be moved, but you can't.
Right.
Are you willing to get fined $10,000 while you sit and wait for them to go ahead and move you, put you in another division, let you go so you can go get another job at with another company?
Right.
$10,000. Are you willing to give that up? Let's think about that.
No, sir. I know I'm not. Like I say, man. Yeah, y'all finding me 10 stacks. Yeah, so check it. After deliberating with the wife. As you see, all my stuff is in the car. I really need, I think I'll go ahead and take that job, that office job. I'm good where I'm at. I'm good. I really didn't want to leave. I really didn't. And my wife was talking about I should leave, and then
the way my bank account set up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, bro. Like, no. There's no way. And again, when you're on that type of status and you're on that level, man, 10 million to them probably ain't nothing, man. But there's no way in the world I could be able to sit there and allow them to take $10 million of my money that was due to me and just do whatever with it, put it back into the org or give it to somebody else who's getting paid to, I just couldn't do that, man. I could not, you know what I'm saying? And I look at it, man, when I think about it, you know, when it comes to military, man, you think about, getting up in there and rank and making rank. You wanna continue to make rank so you can continue to make money and continue to get more responsibilities and
Mm-hmm.
do better and show your success for being what you've done while being in uniform. And to see, or for someone to say, oh, you've worked so hard to make sergeant first class, master sergeant, being a major or a general or whatever, and then they sit there and say, oh, well, you at that whatever rank you are, but for you to continue on to the next rank, or for you to keep this rank, or for you to keep that money,
Mm-hmm.
you got to do this and that and the other. And if you don't, we're gonna start taking money from you.
Mm.
Man, no, no, bro. I'm not, no, not on my watch. Not on duty. Not on duty. Not
So
on duty.
so you just said something that was what he said was something wrong done against the team. Uh I'm not sure a Facebook user, but so what happened is basically in the case of Ben Simmons is uh, last year he had a bad playoff game or bad playoff series,
Mm-hmm.
and so just over
He
time
wasn't. He
it
wasn't.
was
Yeah, he wasn't
yeah
being
it
productive.
yeah it was just over time in which the rumbling and the talking. I guess it was one of the situations in which he didn't feel that his organization, that the Philadelphia 76ers, supporting him, and they basically kind of like pour fire to the fuel to the fire, and it made him feel a certain type of way. So he feel like he shouldn't be at that organization. They should let him go. They doubled down on what they were talking about and basically said they want to help him, and it just hasn't been good. It just hasn't been a good situation. But now, so you was just saying something, Bishop, and which I was thinking about. It's a little off topic, a little bit. So, like we was just talking, 10 million, right? That's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
money.
Mm-hmm.
I often sit back and think to myself, what would I do if I had that type of money? What type of person would I be?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, would I be the person that could be like, it's 10 million? I wonder, would I be that person? Or would I be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep. Or even if I was a person, like we said, let's say in our tax bracket, if even I was a person that could be like, it's 10,000. I 1,000. I'm like, 1,000? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like $1,000? Like, let's be honest, 100. Well, I think I could sit up in 100. I might be like 100. Like, okay, 100 lost. I lost 100. Okay, but
But you talking about $100?
yeah, I could be like $100. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, we lose $100. We lose money like that on like, and I don't want to say on a regular, but I mean for those betting people who bet, sometimes you lose $100 bill, it fall out your pocket, or out your wallet or purse or whatever somehow, and stuff like that. And for a minute, don't get me wrong, when you lose it and you found out you lost it, you pissed for that hot second. You pissed. You tearing up some furniture, some seats in your cars and stuff like that. You looking all over for that $100 now. Don't get it twisted now. People ain't just for us that's in that tax bracket. But
mhm.
for what you saying in regards to 10 million, you saying how would you feel? Would you be like, it was a 10 million? It all depends on when your next 10 million is coming to you, Trey. Your thing is, the thing is, if you know you got 10 million coming on a regular, say every week, every month, every year, or whatever, yeah, it's going to determine how you feel on how you feel about losing 10 million. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that determines on how you feel about how you lose any amount of money in regards to how often it's coming in. Is going to determine how you react. So if you losing 10 million, but you getting another 10 million next month, well, shit. I mean, shoot, 10 million this month. You took that 10, but I'm getting another 10 next month. But you're gonna probably take that 10 too, or close to. Well, you're not taking that 10 because you said that's accumulated 10 million.
Yeah,
But
it's
you taking,
accumulated.
but yeah, it's accumulated. So, but you taking a portion of that 10 million. Oh yeah, it's gonna bother you. It's gonna bother you because uh, everybody wants their money, man. Everybody wants their money. I don't care who you are. You want your money. Now, are you willing to sacrifice a bit of it? Of course. Some people are. Obviously, Ben Simmons is. To allow himself to allow them to take 10 million away from him. Obviously, he's cool with that. But just like the NFL, they get fined for, taunting, millions of dollars for taunting. You know what I'm saying? $1 million for,
drug
inappropriate,
and
yeah, inappropriate use of drugs, or showing up. They get fined for missing practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's all about what you, as we used to say in the military, it's all about what your pockets can handle. Or again, once we said yesterday,
Chest and your collar.
your chest and your collar can handle. So money can't buy beliefs or your thoughts. Facts, Brandon. True facts.
Can it or can it not? Like you said, I guess it comes
It's on
back
the
to what you.
individual.
Yeah. It's definitely an individual thought and factor. It all comes back to, like you said, like we say 10 million accumulated. They haven't been playing for 10 months, but let's say they're playing for 10 months. That's $1 million a month. Like,
It's still a great deal of money, man. Like I said, some people don't see 10 million. There's a lot of people that don't see $10 million in a lifetime. So it's just, that you just got to put that in perspective, bro.
True. That is true. Perspective is true. So last topic for the NBA, Zion Williamson. As you talked about yesterday, we talked about Durant. You mentioned John Morant. You mentioned Zion Williamson. Zion currently is rehabbing away from the team that team plays in New Orleans. He's rehabbing in Portland away from the team. If this was you, Bishop, would you take it as, how would you take that?
Why is he rehabbing from the team?
Distractions, I believe. I think distractions.
Distractions from what though? What is distracted him? What is he being distracted by?
I'm not sure.
Like that. Everybody has their price and or what they would tolerate. Absolutely. Only you know when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Whew.
Yep. I totally agree with that one.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, what's being considered his distraction?
For the article which I read on Bleacher Report last night was that he's just that they feel like he's been has some distractions. It's better that he goes, and I don't know. He's in Portland. I don't know why Portland, but he is in Portland. But the doctors are still monitoring, so he's still under the team's supervision. But that's where he's rehabbing at back up in Portland, as opposed to being in New Orleans for the because of course he broke his foot last year, and they've been he had the surgery to replace it. He's receiving injections, but none of that seems to be happening. So he's trying to they're doing half weight bearing exercises and things to try to help him to rehab. So yeah, so maybe I don't know. They didn't go into detail about what distractions. They just said that to help him to focus more so on his rehabilitation and himself.
Nothing else. Yeah. I mean, I guess if that's what's is best, if they feel like that's what's best for him, and if he feels like that's what's best for him, only him, Zion himself, knows what's best for him in regards to getting back on the court. It does take a great deal of mental stability to be able to function and be able to say, look, I got to focus on my physical physical ability to get back to what I need to get back to be able to get back on the court. And if being in New Orleans is distracting him from being able to focus on trying to get back to his best health to get back on the court, then yeah, wherever they got him is probably good for him to try and get that focus. So I don't necessarily see an issue with it unless he sees an issue with it. Has he spoken about it, or has he said anything in regards to why he feels like he shouldn't be out there in Portland? Because I'm trying to figure out why Portland of all places.
Yeah, because I was like, he's not from Portland, so I would have thought that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I would think. Well, then you definitely don't want him going home. You don't want to go home.
But then it brings the question.
It would definitely be a distraction.
It brings the question, like, I wonder, is his family? Does he have any family? Was he like, from his camp to be able to take with, like, what was the stipulations? Because if they're basically saying that he needs to be away from the team and all that type of stuff to focus, is that to say that he's away from family? Is he just out there with him and people from the organization?
And it might be the fact that he might have, that might be Portland might be the place for the best rehab center for whatever it is that he has, for his foot. Yeah, for his foot. Could be. I don't know if that's the case, but it is kind of odd that it's Portland of all places to be a place to be rehabbing. You know what I'm saying? To try and get back on the court. So that is kind of question. It's something that is something to raise eyebrows about for me.
True. So on NFL news,
let's get it.
A lot of things going on that have transpired in reference to the AB case. The NFL has put their foot down when it comes down to the interviews at for the combines for the incoming rookies. So let's get into it. A lot of pop backs. Aaron Rodgers fires back at the reporter for
the statement you spoke about yesterday.
Yes, for the statement they talked about yesterday. Basically, Aaron Rodgers said he's a bum. He doesn't know him. They never sat down and had a lunch together. They never sat down and had a conversation together. They never sat down and had an interview together. He even went as far to say he doesn't think the guy was even known prior to his comment from yesterday.
Wow.
He just basically called him a bum. He said he doesn't. He's like, the only reason he has something to say is because it's not the fact of it's Aaron's play. He's like, it's just a simple fact that Aaron is not vaccinated. So he's like, if he wants to go on a crusade to coerce and get people to change their vote because he's not vaccinated, because he wants to add another V to add another letter to the title for the most valuable vaccinated player, then he's free to do so and go on that crusade.
He said the most valuable vaccinated player. Not another MVVP.
Which is what he's talking about.
Aaron is a fool, man. Aaron is a fool. That's crazy, man. I mean, I wonder, is there any truth behind that? Is this dude
this guy got
bully? Niners suck, LOL. Good show. Appreciate you, Brandon. Niners suck. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
All right, enjoy your day, Brandon.
Oh, thank you, man. We appreciate you for tuning in, man. Thanks so much. Yeah, that is definitely something to definitely to look into. I mean, it could be a guy. He could be a troll. He could be trolling and trying to just get himself in the spotlight and get his name out there as a person of interest to be, put out there on blogs and all types of stuff and get interviews and so forth and so on. Especially if Aaron Rodgers said he don't even know this dude at all or whatever. And then for Aaron to say he don't know you and for you to talk bad about him, Aaron Rodgers, as a reporter or as an analyst or whatever you are, and to say that, he's not a good person. How can you say he's not a good person if this dude does not know you? If you haven't literally sat down and spoke with Aaron Rodgers, you can't speak of that man like that. You can't belittle that man or speak on his character if you have not literally sat down or had a conversation with that man. That's not fair. That's just you being judgmental, and you just taking it upon yourself to be able to want to put a title on somebody just because you feel like you can. So I mean, mad shouts out for Aaron for shooting back, man. Pow pow. Pow, pow.
So I don't think that my man is Ash is completely just a nobody because he's been voting. He's a writer. He's been voting. So I'm sure there's been opportunities and situations in which he has Have you heard of him? I hadn't heard of. No, he's a Chicago writer.
Oh, okay.
He's a veteran Chicago writer, as a sports writer, as they say. So
Okay.
he has credentials to where he votes. He's one of the vote.
Okay.
He's a vote. So I mean, I'm very sure there's been opportunity situations in which he's probably voted for Aaron. So he didn't say that Aaron wasn't. He didn't vote for Aaron in past instances or anything like that. He's just saying based on what he's seeing from Aaron that he's not. He probably isn't the ideal MVP for this year's, in which Aaron is like a lot of people were yesterday in our during our broadcast was discussing how that's an interesting take.
Aaron
Facebook
Rodgers'
user.
misleading statement gives way to judging his character. How do you feel like it's a misleading statement, though? Facebook user.
Yes, please explain your opinion.
And the reason why it says Facebook user, y'all, is because of the fact that y'all are probably not friends with us or friends with the show or with the network. So if you would hit that like and subscribe and follow us, that way we can address you as your name and not as Facebook user. Will be greatly appreciated. But go ahead, Trey. What was you saying?
Yeah, so back to what even first base user said, and that's kind of like what Ash is basically trying to say is that this year particularly, and same thing Aaron said this year, because he's not vaccinated, is basically trying to say that he doesn't deserve to be a candidate or be deserving of the MVP.
But why does that? What does being vaccinated have to do with that?
I get y'all
Doesn't
point. I definitely get y'all point because it's like almost like the same thing what you talk about. People getting the Hall of Fame, and it's like you're it's for your play, what you did as a player,
as a
like
player
on the field, saying,
right.
because especially if you're going in as a player and not a contributor. Of course, if you're going in as a contributor or something like that, then something's
It's
gonna
different.
so,
Right.
but as a player, saying you would hope that the players are, saying above and beyond reproach in all things. Just as if we had a all forces Hall of Fame, you would hope that all those individuals that's getting voted in are above reproach and are saying are key, and they're instrumental in the conducting a lot of things, and they're humanitarians. They're saying men of good fortune, men of good high opinion. Like, you just hope that they're just that individual, which you can be like, you know what, I would want my son or daughter to follow in their footsteps. And I think what Ash is basically saying, like, what Aaron Rodgers has displayed this year isn't conclusive. I mean, isn't doesn't line up with those values, and that's why he said he's not voting for him. In which you could have kind of kept it to yourself. So
Right. I
that's
mean,
what
you're
comes in
one
play.
vote. You're one vote. You know what I'm saying?
But
You're
he thinks
one
he's
vote.
colluding. That's what he thinks he's colluding. That's what he said. Collude. He's like, if you're colluding to get
Other people to be on board with him to
yeah,
not vote for him, I get it.
yes.
Yeah,
So
I get it. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, everybody has a right to their opinion, and they have a right to say how they feel about certain individuals and what they feel. Again, I just don't feel like it has anything it shouldn't have anything to do. MVP has nothing to do with him being vaccinated or not being vaccinated. If he chooses not to be vaccinated, I mean, that's his choice. That's his option. We have that option. It's up to each individual on whether or not they feel like that's the best option for them. Um, and as long as he's not finding himself affecting a lot of other players because of his choice of not being vaccinated, then who's to say anything different and whether or not he deserves to be MVP or not be MVP. He stated that he was immunized, not vaccinated, pretty much dodging the question when asked about his vaccination status, which we get. Yeah, he played. Aaron Rodgers definitely played on words. He definitely played on words. A lot of people, I totally agree. He definitely played on words and immunized, and used the word immunized instead of vaccinated. And he got a little slap on the hand for that, for doing so. But Howard, does that still does that still negate the fact that he shouldn't be MVP? Because that still doesn't stop his play on how he's playing on the field. On the field play, exactly. Like I'm saying, yeah, it doesn't stop the fact on how he's playing on the field, whether he's vaccinated or not. His play, MVP is about your play on the field, the court, whatever sport it is you're playing. It's about what you're doing on the field. Outside of all the other distractions of what's going on out in your personal life, anything else, it's about your on-field play. And if he's on the field and doing what he's supposed to do, he should be considered. And right now, I think I saw earlier today that the two main individuals that's being, I wouldn't vote for him. I feel you, and everybody has that right. But right now, the two people being considered that I heard some analysts talk about this morning is him and Tom Brady. And
Facebook, use it just to let me know. Let us know who would you vote for if you were a writer. Who would you vote for?
MVP right now for the NFL?
Let us know who. So staying in that MVP talk, do you think a receiver will ever win the MVP?
That's gonna be hard, man. It's hard for a receiver to win an MVP because the quarterback throws the ball to him.
Exactly.
He gets all
if
his,
you get them
numbers,
all
his stats from the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So if the quarterback never throws to your ball, you're never gonna get those stats. So which I feel like is unfair. I feel like, because the quarterback, he throws the ball, but the receiver still has to catch it and make plays after the catch. All of that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if you got so many yards after the catch, yak yards and stuff like that, I feel like you definitely should be in the forefront of trying to become the MVP. But it's definitely hard because the quarterback throws the ball to him.
So that comment of what you just made brings up an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
So do you believe, as we know, Andre Johnson is one of the finalists for the Hall of Fame?
Andre Johnson,
Do you think so? If Andre Johnson gets in based on his numbers, does that mean Derek Carr should as well? Wasn't Derek Carr his quarterback for the majority of that of his
should
career?
Get into the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
So I don't feel like those coincide with as much as an MVP. So Tom Brady right now.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
I'm still on Cooper Kupp or John or Taylor, but
yeah.
Hey.
I don't think that is the same. I don't feel like that's the complete same because of the fact that we know the quarterback still throws the ball to whoever, and whether or not to but to go into the Hall of Fame, a lot of times you go through many different quarterbacks. Outside of you don't have the exact same quarterback the entire season.
In their cases, they did. Andre. I think Andre Johnson. I have to go research that.
No, I think he had another.
But I know for a fact that Calvin Johnson had the same quarterback this whole time.
But or the numbers he put up though. The numbers
with that quarterback,
right? With Matthew.
So would you say
Hall of
Famer?
Yeah, Matthew Stafford will probably be a Hall of Famer.
Not first ballot, but Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he may not make first ballot, but he will probably be a Hall of Famer. They kind of do. I feel where you're going with it, Trey. I totally get it where you're going with it because they kind of coincide with each other. So if the receiver makes it from that team,
if I've been your quarterback for your whole career,
why shouldn't the quarterback make it?
And you go to the Hall of Fame, I'm just basically waiting to leave the game.
So should it be the other way around too? If the quarterback make it, should the receiver make it too?
No, this is why I say that.
Okay,
because the quarterback throws to a plethora of receivers. That's why I said if you're
that leading receiver for that quarterback,
that's a good question.
You're that leading receiver for that quarterback. Say the year that you had your biggest numbers. Say the year you had your biggest numbers as quarterback, and you was the leading receiver for that quarterback. Should you not go into as well?
I don't know why it's so hard. It sounds like such a double standard, but
it does. It does. That's why I threw it out there because it does. It sounds so like a double standard. It does because that 1 year. Okay, I get it. You may have another year another season you may have not thrown to him to that one receiver, but what if you did throw to that receiver for 3 seasons and he led those 3 seasons in for you to get those numbers in which you got, and you go in the Hall of Fame? Why isn't that receiver going in the Hall of Fame along with you?
Is McNabb a Hall of Famer?
I don't know.
But I don't think he is. Will he? No, he's not.
No.
Do you think? Will he get in? Do you think he'll get in?
Probably not.
What about T.O.? I mean, correction, not T.O. Vic.
No, Vic will never get in. Vic won't get in because of what happened.
So that brings up a good point. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? I know it's going to be a conversation with another topic.
You know what? Yeah.
But why is that? It comes back to
because of what because of what it was.
He came back to the NFL after
he came back to my Eagles. He came back to my Eagles. I know. He came back and it made a huge run. Huge run. And there it is.
I wish we could address you guys. Yeah, but it comes back to that full circle.
It's crazy. It's crazy we say that because we just talking about Aaron Rodgers and accolades compared to what you do outside. But you're asking me. In my personal opinion, I feel like they will never put Michael Vick in there. They won't.
Should Vick be there?
I don't know. I don't know if his numbers. I don't know if Vick's numbers.
Oh, it's Dante.
What up, Dante? What up, Dante? I don't know. I don't know if his numbers equate for him to go into the Hall of Fame. Oh, you say yes, Kendrick? Oh, I mean, I would have to look to his numbers, man. I would definitely have to look at his numbers and see if he deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. But if his numbers deserve it, if his numbers deserve,
you don't think being the prototype buys him
what prototype? The prototype of what?
Of a mobile triple threat quarterback.
We had that with Cunningham. We had that with.
You know what? As you said, we had that with Steve Young. You know, as you said that, it was like, like as you were saying that, I was like,
he wasn't the first to do it. Now, he was the first to do it the way Vic did it in Vic style. Yeah, I give you
just like anything else. Evolution. There you go.
Evolution. Yeah, he's the first one to do it in Vic style, and now Lamar Jackson is doing it in Lamar style. Mm-hmm. But if his numbers now, I will say, if Vic's numbers tally up to where, but not like Vic, right? He does. True, Cunningham didn't do it like Vic, but like Trey saying, evolution. You know, everybody. Somebody's gonna do it a certain way, and somebody's gonna do it better. It's like they trying to compare Young, Michael Jordan with LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, all of that. Everybody gonna say, yeah, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. Everybody gonna say LeBron James, but everybody's saying also Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. LeBron James is not Michael Jordan. He does his like LeBron James. Michael Jordan did it like Michael Jordan. So I like I say, if his numbers add up, then I do feel like he deserves to be in there. But again, when it's all said and done, when I seriously think about it, in the way a lot of us know how the NFL is set up, I really don't think they'll let him in. I don't think they'll let Vic in. I really don't.
So,
okay,
not too far off. So, what if? And I hope.
I think they should let him in too, just to be clear.
The E2G, I know the E2G faithful. I know y'all diehard New England Patriots fans. Mm-hmm. What if TB12 did something egregious, in which you put it in the same situation? Is it the same energy?
He did do something egregious in regards to the Deflategate.
You think so?
That's cheating. That's cheating.
But was it him? Did TB12 cheat, or did someone?
He knew.
You think so?
You're throwing the balls.
It was cold, man. He had a glove on.
You throwing the balls. You know that ball is not aired up to the right pressure. You know that.
Who was it? Was it Tennessee? They smacked the hell out of them in that cold. They gave them the business.
You know that ball is not aired up to the pressure which it's supposed to be aired up to.
Please, if any of New England fans, if y'all watching, please chime in. If TB12,
you know who hot right now about us talking about like that. You know who hot right now, Trey.
Who?
Who's the Tom Brady fan? Who love Tom Brady? Full name and all.
Oh yeah, Pride. Yeah. I
You know,
think, but I
Prime
think
could jump on here right now.
Buddy
Driving
too.
Prime would lose his mind
Buddy's
right now.
Buddy's a diehard New England. But yes, like man, Deflate Gate. What?
Deflategate, man.
But that wasn't Tom. It was his organization that he belonged in. I'm very sure he
Right,
benefited
that
from
too.
it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't Tom.
Right. But the thing about Tom though, despite the fact of Deflategate and the sideline recordings of teams and stuff like that, he has surpassed that and still won Super Bowls. He surpassed that and still won. He knew. I totally agree with you. He knew. I totally agree.
He might.
Come on, man.
So,
you ain't gonna tell me Tom didn't know, man.
Especially with the ball.
Especially
the
with
ball,
the
he might know because I'm very sure because
he's
a quarterback. He'd be like, "Yo, what's wrong with the ball? Like, why I feel like
every
that?"
single play. Come on, man. You knew. But yeah, but the thing is, like I say, what's going to keep Tom Brady in there is the fact that he's surpassed that and has gotten past that and still won Super Bowls. So,
Vic didn't win Super Bowl, but he came back and was successful, in my opinion.
He did.
I think y'all.
I totally agree.
If he hadn't got injured, I think y'all would have went to the Super Bowl that year.
He bounced back. He did bounce back from adversity. He had bounced back from his mistake. He paid his dues. He did what he had to do to, he paid his dues to the community and everything, and he bounced back. And he did what he had to do and came back and played on the same level as though he had never left. You know what I'm saying? As though he never left. I do feel like if his numbers match up to Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks, then I feel like he deserves to be in there. But again, when it's all said and done, I do feel like two-team facts. And I do feel like, without really missing a step, facts. I do feel like they will not let him in because of the fact of what he went to jail for.
He did the whole bid. So, speaking of bouncing back of adversities and things of that nature, two key players for their team, won't have the opportunity to bounce back or sit up and solidify their team. Of course, one of the two, Joe Burrow, he will be sitting this Sunday.
As well as Joe Mixon.
Oh, Mixon too? Oh, man, fantasy
implications. Joe Mixon, they have already ruled out Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow to both be out for this game.
Chase too?
Which is crazy because that game is,
Well, they already locked up their divisions.
Yeah, but I had picked Cincinnati to win that game, and now, but then whatchamacall's not playing either.
Who?
Because in Cincinnati, who's Cincinnati playing? Aren't they playing? Hold on, I got you. They playing. I got it. Hold on, right here. They're playing. Aren't they playing? They're not playing Cleveland, are they?
I don't think so.
Baker's not playing either. Baker's out too. He's gonna have surgery. Actually, Baker's gonna have surgery. He's not playing either. They're playing. They play Saturday too. Don't Cincinnati play Saturday? Yeah, they play Saturday. Yeah, Cincinnati.
No, the Sixers, they play Sunday. They play
Cleveland. It is Cleveland. Yeah. I thought so. So yeah, Baker's are not playing either. Baker's about to have surgery or that shoulder. He's about to have that shoulder surgery.
Your torn labrum. That's right.
Right. So he's not playing. So it's right partial. So it's going to be two backup quarterbacks playing in that game. And then, like I say, Joe Mixon ain't playing. That's a lot of people not playing this weekend though.
Yeah, I gotta go back after we get off the show. I gotta go back and check my fantasy. Make sure.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't playing this weekend. He's not playing. Who else did I see? He's not playing. We do know. Whatchamacall is definitely he had his first day back in practice yesterday.
Derrick Henry.
Yes. Yeah, he's not cleared to play this weekend, but he has been seen practicing with the team. So he's definitely coming back, and didn't know he rushed for 937 yards before.
Yes, like
he was on pace, bro. He was about to kill it. He was about to kill it.
Another player not playing, but it's not due to injuries or the fact that they locked up the division. Micah Parsons is on the COVID-19 list. That
Yes,
he
it's a
won't
lot of
be
people on the COVID list too. Yep, Michael Parsons is on the COVID list.
newly added. So,
Yep, he
uh,
just added it.
what do you think for those players of both teams? What do you think the impact? What's the impact
Between
level of
them
what
and
you're
on
talking about?
the Eagles and Cowboys game.
Yeah, the Eagles and Cowboys game, and then Burrow missing out. But like you said,
Eh,
Mixon's out too.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't like you said they've solidified their spot in the playoffs. So I'm wondering if Jamar Chase is even gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Being the fact that, you know what I'm saying, which I'm sure the backup would love for Jamar Chase to play so he can have a target. You know what I'm saying? A huge target to throw to, but I don't know, because again, when you already has solidified your spot in the playoffs, you kind of want to keep everybody healthy as much as possible. So you kind of not you never want to take a chance with somebody like Jamar Chase and fool around and he get hurt or something of that nature. But for me, Trey, I feel like if you don't play people who's hurt or who isn't hurt, who isn't hurt, and they're on the sidelines, that's a possibility of catching COVID. I feel like if you're not in the game, I feel like you have a higher chance of being catching COVID, because either you're not in the game and you're either on the sidelines or you're at home somewhere like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know whether or not, if they're letting them travel with the team, if not, or so forth, if they're not scheduled to play. But I feel like that's giving you more of an opportunity to catch COVID, especially with this Omicron variant, which is spreading so easily across the nation. So
highly
yeah,
contagious.
highly contagious, very highly contagious. Not as deadly as the other ones, but definitely highly contagious. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but with the Cowboys game and as well as with the Bengals Brown game, those games now, man, those games are crazy now, because both teams are if it ain't COVID, it's injuries or just sitting people out just for
And
the simple fact.
with Micah, that potentially even could lead to next week,
Right,
which
because
he's
he
going
got
to
it
be needed.
right, because he has to have what is it?
Matter of fact, won't they be playing y'all potentially? I mean, again, like y'all play for the third time, because they're the number. No, they're the number 4 seed.
Right,
Okay, my
right.
fault. My fault.
No, we won't play again after that. But yeah, but still, like you said, Michael Parsons, with him, he would still he has to have a negative test a certain time prior to the next game. So being that he just came up hot or just tested positive on the COVID yesterday, I guess it was, or today, whichever day it was. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. So he has at least 7 days to try and get himself together and take the test again and not come up hot or come up positive on the test. So I don't know, man. I don't know, those games are going to be interesting now, though, for sure. Those two games are definitely going to be interesting right now.
Yeah, the NFL should have like buku crazy ratings with these games that's coming up. The 49ers, the Rams, the who's that? The Chargers and the
Speaking of which,
Chargers. What's up?
Trey, it's crazy. They even said exactly what you said. I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before when you was talking about the Raiders and the Chargers, that if they
All you
both
need
could
is
just come out, if they was both to just come out and kneel,
take
and both
kneels,
of them
kneel
could
down.
make it, take a tie, and both of them could make it into the playoff. Like, what would be the chances, like, of them coming out, both teams, like, being in agreement with saying,
I think it would have to be a situation in which it had to be the Chiefs that they're potentially eliminating to be like, you know what, let's do this. Hey, just like,
you think that's what it would take?
That would have to be something
like
it's like, or you look at it like, hey, we could have 3 teams in the conference in the playoffs, 3 or 7 teams in the playoffs, or it could be like, I can't stand the Chiefs. This is our chance to stick it to Andy.
Yeah.
Like, so let's go in and get this tie.
Yeah, but that's crazy. A lot of the analysts said that, like, what if they were to come out and just take a knee and say, "Look,
15 kneels a piece."
Yep, and they come out and which we say we haven't seen it, but we've seen teams like do certain things to recognize people. Like when Kobe passed, they did certain things like 8 seconds of delay of the game or backcourt or 24 seconds run off on the clock. Remember when when Kobe, may he rest in peace. Or
Yes.
when the thing happened with Kobe's tragic death. So, I mean, I think it would be kind of hot if they did some stuff like that, man. I'm gonna be honest. I think it would be kind of hot if they did some stuff like that. They came out and say, you know what, we band together, man, because of COVID and what's going on. We want both of us to make it into the playoffs. So, hey, we're gonna come out here and take knees, man. Let's take these knees. Hey, for Kaepernick.
It's like, you don't even know, dude. They Kaepernick. Yeah. So, but I mean, but what will really the underlying issue in that situation is if they do that, do you realize what is going to do to the bettors? Like, what is going to happen?
Oh boy, you talking about Vegas and all them play? Boy, they would lose
Yes.
their mind.
Yes, all the people that's going to completely set it upside down.
That's why it would never happen, because the betting people out there, man, they will lose their mind. They would lose their mind because a whole lot of money would be lost if that was to happen or take place. So yeah, I saw that.
What else potentially gets added to the COVID list is the Las Vegas Stadium, the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas potentially might be off limits for the Super Bowl. Correction, not Allegiant, SoFi.
SoFi
Allegiant,
Stadium.
Yeah, Allegiant is where they're playing the Pro Bowl.
Right.
The SoFi Stadium may be added to the COVID list and be off limits for the Super Bowl.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, it's in California. The strict COVID procedures and protocols might cause it to not be able to be played in SoFi. But guess who's stepping up to the plate to say they're ready to take the Super Bowl in a moment's notice? Jerry's World.
Come on, man. That's without question. Of course, Jerry. He gotta pay. He's still paying for that damn stadium, man. That stadium, he's still paying for that.
He need all the money he can get.
He need all the money he can get, bro. And it's enclosed, and he can open it and close it too. Oh yeah, that's without question. I knew Jerry was gonna be one of the first ones to say step up. And
the last time the AT&T Stadium held a Super Bowl was in 2011. So here we are, 11 years later. 11 years later, and Jerry's like, "Hey, we got it.
We'll take it."
Fort Worth is like, "We got it. We stand with Jerry." So.
And Texas is one of them. And Texas is one of them states that's like, they not high on the
protocol.
Yeah, the strict
Can you imagine if Jerry got the Super Bowl and his Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl?
Don't do that.
Can you imagine?
Don't hype these Cowboy fans up, Trey.
Bruh,
don't do that, bro. Do not do that. Don't put these false hopes in these people's head, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't
that
do that,
mess. Oh my
boy,
goodness.
you done said that now. It's people already posting on Facebook. Oh, we going to it's in Jerry's world. We going to the Super Bowl. It's in Jerry's world. We going. Man,
it's our year.
Yeah, don't get these people these false hopes, man. Don't even want to imagine. Exactly. Don't get these people these false hopes, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So another situation that came out, we all have heard the stories, like when they go to the combines and the draft, and when they do their interviews, that there's some weird questions that are asked, right? That is like beyond what anyone asks. Like one dude said he was asked if he ever was attracted to his mom. Or saying one guy was asked, what? Do you like men? So like those type of questions and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah. So the NFL is cracking down on that. There's going to be tough consequences for any appropriate or any showing of any team, executive, staff member that does anything that is considered deemed inappropriate during these interviews. This could be up to losing draft picks or incurring a $150,000 fine. So, do you think that is enough to be like, hey, just stick strictly to the facts, strictly to the questions?
Yeah, I think it is. I do. I feel like those are dumb questions. Why do you need to know that? That has nothing to do with the sport.
So they be trying to see the action, what the reaction is, or
why though? What reaction? What? You asked me a question about do I? What was it about the mom thing? Do I?
Have you ever found your mom attractive?
Yeah. What is that? Why would you want to see my reaction to that? What does that have to do with anything in regards to the sport in which we're talking about? That has nothing to do with anything.
So you said
And me, man, and that's probably why I could never been an athlete. Because you asking me some dumb questions, I'd be like, all right, the interview's over. Man, I'm gone. I'm gone.
So
Man, I'm not sitting here entertaining no dumbness like that. And that's probably why Marshawn Lynch was like, man, I'm only here to not get fined. Because I'm sure he got tired of some dumb questions. Like, seriously, like, right? Like, why are you asking me some dumb question like that?
You served a good amount of time in the service, correct?
Mm-hmm. Who, me?
Yeah, in the service. So in your military career, you attended probably a couple of boards, correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And in these boards, were you asked to do some outlandish things, in your opinion?
I'm trying to think. Was I? Outlandish things. I don't. You
Like,
know what?
did you ever have a situation to where a chair might have been turned right
No, I
side
know
up
where
or
you're
upside
going. I
down?
know where you're going. Yeah, I don't think I ever. No, you know what? I don't think I ever had to. I don't think that was so far fetched and where I was like, nah, man. Nothing like that. No. Now, and this is the thing, right? With the chair thing and stuff like that, I get it. And somebody said yes. One brother said yeah, but I think, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I get it. You're trying to see, how people, conduct themselves with media and how they, conduct themselves under pressure when asked a question that they weren't prepared for. I get it. I get it. You're just trying to see if they can keep their composure and stay maintain and still be able to function because of the question that was answered. Get it. But certain things you just do not ask. And certain things I feel like, to me, you ask me about my mama in regards to did I find her attractive? That's offensive to me. I don't feel like you. What are you trying to say? Like, what are you insinuating? There's other questions that you could ask that's off topic that you could probably ask and probably may get people to say, "Oh, my bad."
Go ahead.
You got that. You could probably.
We're gonna address
I
that
had
in a
the
few
question on
minutes.
here where would I go to get a paperclip counter?
so okay. For those that are still
hold
here,
on,
yeah, go ahead.
Trey. But I know it. So I get that one, right? I get that one. So now I know what they did do. Like, since this is first formation, right? This is first formation.
Yes, sir.
So when I first came in the military as a food service, 94 Bravo, man. And this is just something that people do, and they do it in the NFL. They do things like that to rookies and stuff like that.
I'm very sure. I wonder, do they do it in other services like Air Force, Navy,
Let us
Marines,
know.
Coast Guard? Please, if
Let us know.
y'all got stories, please
let us know. So for me, when I first got there, Buck Private, straight first duty station, Fort Bliss, Texas. I'm there, right? First few days, I'm there, right? I'm there. I'm learning. Trying to do so. When you get there, you nervous, Trey. You nervous because you know what you know. You know what you know from what you've learned in AIT and stuff like that. So you getting there, but you nervous. It's new. You seeing new people. You meeting your NCOs. You meeting your other people that within the within your company and stuff like that. So of course, as a private, one of the first things they like to put you on is meats.
Yes.
So of course I'm on meats. So of course, normally when you get there, the first thing they do, they link you up with a specialist. The specialist gonna give you some OJT, teach you how to do stuff and how to get everything started, man. I ain't never gonna forget this day, man. This specialist, he was like, "Hey, man, look, man, we got spaghetti on the menu today. That's on the production schedule. So what I need you to do is I need you to go in there and get me he told me to get these ingredients. He told me the ingredients to get, and one of the things he told me to get was, he said, "Hey, I need you to go in there and get a spaghetti stretcher." Spaghetti stretcher. I'm a private.
Oh, shoot.
Private, not thinking. Going in there, nervous. I'll go in the restroom. I said, "Well, okay, cool. Where do I need to go?" Go, yeah. go in the ration room and get me a spaghetti stretcher. So I go in there knowing that they didn't already, they didn't concocted this whole idea of they didn't already know these new privates are coming in. So of course you're gonna go in the ration room. Ain't no be no ration person in there because you if you don't find it, you're gonna ask the ration person, and the ration person probably gonna fall out because the ration person is a seasoned person too. Normally probably E5, E4, or whatever. So they probably gonna laugh. So they don't want you to sit there and laugh, don't want to give it away. So you go in there, I go in there, I'm looking all over the place for a darn spaghetti stretcher. Spaghetti stretcher. Now, again, everybody that's listening, of course, you're thinking, there's no such thing. But as you being as a private, you're not thinking. Your mind is not thinking correctly. You so focused on doing the right thing, doing what you're told, doing what you're supposed to do to get the mission accomplished. I'm in there tearing up the ration room trying to find a spaghetti stretcher. I'm all over the place trying to find a spaghetti stretcher, man. Those are the things like that right there is harmful. That's not a big deal. That's fun. That's fun. And that's just something, and they got me. I was like, he was like, bro, think about what I'm asking you. He's like, think about what I'm asking you, Private. Oh, spaghetti stretcher. What possibly could that be? And I felt dumb. I felt dumb. I was even a bit upset, I think, at the time, because I was like, I spent so much time trying to find a darn thing. But I it is what it is. Those are things that happen. So things like that makes sense. You come with things like that. That's cool. But
so to
personal stuff like asking about my mama and all. Come on, man.
So the caveat
about dudes and no, man.
No. To caveat on what you said, I had, like I said, as I was saying yesterday, I started out as a artilleryman, 13 Echo. And so 13 Echoes deal with maps and all types of different things. So they tried two different occasions. They tried to get me. What I had heard of one already, and the other one I was just lucky enough to figure it out before I got embarrassed. So the first one, they was like, "Hey, I need you to go to the supply room so we can load up. I need you to go to the supply room and get a box of grid squares."
I heard that one. I heard that one.
Hey, go to the supply room and get a box of grid squares.
I heard that.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, I'm thinking about not realizing I know what a grid square is. We're taught what a grid square is, but I didn't sit up and put it together to where I was like, okay, hey, this is no way in God's green earth that you can have a box of these. The other thing they tried to get me with is they told me to go to the guns, because like I said, I was a 13 Echo, so gun line where they do the firing at. It's like, go down to the gun line and bring back a box of BA 1100 Novembers. So in the military, BA or a box of BA or whatever is batteries. So you know what I'm saying, batteries. You know it's batteries. So when you say, if someone say, "Hey, I need some BAs," they're batteries. But they told me to go bring back a box of BA 1100 Novembers. So a box of BA 1100 Novembers. What's that? If you look in the comments,
balloons.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
they tried to tell me bring back a box of BA 1100 Novembers. So as I was saying, I was like, okay. I was like, all right, because I was doing something at the time when he was talking to me. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, no problem. Box of BA 1100 Novembers. And so I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, but I'm going over in my head like BA 100 Novembers. And so I'm going over my head because I'm trying to, okay, remember, because I'm doing something. And then it dawned on me like BA 1100 Novembers. I was like, balloons? And then it's like, it's like, damn, private. So I was like, so if it wasn't for me doing something,
figuring it out,
when they gave it to me, then I would have been down at the gun line looking for some damn balloons, and they probably would have gave me the runaround, like, hey, go over the gun so and so. They might have some
running around all over.
Yeah, they have me running around all over the place with this damn Kevlar and M16 and stuff looking like crazy. That. So you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. So definitely, like I could, yeah, like you said, this
And
more
with that,
than
like I said, those type of things are fun. Those types of things are fun. Like well, the questions in which they ask, like at the Super Bowl, the pre Super Bowl interviews and stuff like that. Those are cool. Those type of questions are cool. It's those personal questions in which you get into. I think that's a bit. I think that's where you take it. I think that's when you cross the line at when asking me about my mama. Did I find my mama attractive? And I think those things are just yeah, my mama was fine. Yeah, that's my mom. I'm not gonna say she wasn't attractive. Like what? Like, I'm not a comedian. I'm a comedian would probably say, no, my mom was ugly as hell and looks like, the bottom of my
yeah.
shoe. But, no, but yeah, that's your mama. You're not finna disrespect your mama, especially on national TV. So I mean, it is what it is. But and I think it's a thin line on where your questions should go and how they should be asked and who and in what content.
So our last topic, probably, because we're
Hmm.
at time, but I'm
Yeah.
very sure this is going to carry us out, and this
Right.
should be. We got a couple of people still left in the chat that's watching this that we can see. I'm very sure this is going to take us out. So of course, the Antonio Brown saga continues.
It does, and it get
Yesterday,
thickens.
it's
It
starting to get
thickens.
thickened. So I want to read the letter in its entirety so we can basically have our background. Because as you know already, Antonio Brown, or known as AB, left from his game last week against the Jets and walked off the field because he said he was told that because he wouldn't play going to the game, he relented to go into the game, and he said the coach told him that he needs to leave. So he went ahead and left. He felt like that he doesn't want to have the name, the brand, in which is basically cutting him on him. So he didn't
That's
have
what
any
I told him.
clothes, so he left. And so it came back and forth where they said yesterday there's like it was text messages that was out that in which they knew after they said they didn't know. And so through his lawyer, Antonio Brown released the following. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the Bucks fans and teammates. The Bucks helped me return to productive football after I had difficulties that could have ended my career. We worked together to resolve those difficulties and will always appreciate that. Being part of a Super Bowl champion team and then a contender is a dream come true. I make mistakes. I'm working on myself and I have positive influences around me. But one thing I don't do is shy away from playing hard on the field. No one can accuse me of not giving it my all every play. Because of my commitment to the game, I relented to pressure directly from my coach to play injured. Despite the pain, I suited up and staff injected me with what I know now as a powerful and sometimes dangerous painkiller that the NFLPA was warned against using. I gave it my all for the team. I played until it was clear that I could not use my ankle to safely perform my playing responsibilities. On top of that, the pain was extreme. I took a seat on the sideline and my coach came up to me, very upset, coach being Bruce Arians, very upset and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him it's my ankle, but he knew that. It was well documented and we had discussed it. Then he ordered me to get on the field. I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for a medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran his finger across his throat. Coach was telling me that if I didn't play hurt, then I was done with the Bucks. I didn't quit. Uh, I didn't quit. I was cut. I didn't walk away from my brothers. I was thrown out. Being fired on the sideline for having a painful injury was bad enough. Then came their spin. Coach denied on national television that he knew about my ankle. That's 100% inaccurate. Not only did he know I missed the several games, but the injury he and I exchanged text days before the game where he clearly acknowledged my injury. He obviously knew I was on the injury list, and the GM acknowledged after the game in text messages to my camp that I did tell coach about my ankle pain on Sunday. I know we're losing to the Jets and that's frustrating for us all, but I could not make football plays on that ankle. I walked off but I could not make football plays on that ankle. Yes, I walked off the field, but there's a major difference between launching from the line and taking hits compared to jogging off the field with the rush of emotions going through my head. I am reflecting on my reaction, but there was a trigger. The trigger was someone telling me that I am not allowed to feel pain. I acknowledged my past, but my past does not make me a second class citizen. My past does not forfeit my right to be heard when I am in pain. First they cut me, now they cage me. Instead of asking how I felt or getting to the bottom of it, the team texted my camp promoting a totally false narrative, and I randomly acted out without any explanation. They even told us in writing, don't spin this any other way. I have stress, I have things I need to work on, but the worst part of this has been the Bucks' repeated effort to portray this as a random outburst. They are telling people that I first walked off, then I was cut. No, no, no. I was cut first, and then I went home. They threw me out like an animal, and I refused to wear the brand on my body, so I took the jersey off. As a part of the ongoing cover up, they are acting like I wasn't cut and now demanded that I see a doctor to their choice to examine my ankle. What they did not know until now is that Monday morning I had an urgent MRI on my ankle. It shows broken bone fragments stuck in my ankle, the ligaments torn from the bone, and cartilage loss, which are beyond painful. You can see the bone bulging from the outside, but that must that must and can be repaired. The MRI has been read by two top orthopedic surgeons in New York, including Dr. Martin O'Malley at the Hospital of Special Surgery. Not realizing that I had already scheduled a surgery at the HSS, the Bucks ordered me under penalty of discipline, and what with fewer hours ordered me under the penalty of discipline and fewer hours notice to show up at the more junior doctors at the HSS for another opinion. What a joke! They're playing like I wasn't cut, giving me a surprise attack order to show up at another doctor with no response, with no reasonable notice, and setting this whole thing up as a basis to cut me because what they did on Sunday was not legitimate. Sorry, GM. I already received a confirming opinion from the top doctor or top doc at the hospital that you ordered me to go to. I love the Bucks fans. I really do. I love my teammates and everyone who showed me grace and believed in me. I gave the Bucks everything I had on the field. What the organization is doing now needs to be cleaned up. I do not understand how people publicly claiming to be concerned about my mental health can do these things to me in private. Once my surgery is complete, I'll be back to 100% and looking forward to the next season. Business is going to be booming.
Yep.
With that being
I
said,
read that same thing.
do we believe that AB is being truthful and straightforward, and that the Bucks and Bruce Arians are to blame for what this debacle has become?
I actually have to say, I actually have to say that I truly believe AB. There was too much information that he provided in that text or that message for it to be false. Way too much information to write down to details. So the details and all of that, man, makes me feel like it's true. Everybody prejudged him. Everybody wants to make, I
Based
even
off of
said,
his past.
right. Everybody wants to make him be the mental case, like he even stated in his statement that they want to make him seem like he had, it's a mental case for him and stuff of that nature. Now, what I will say is, if Bruce Arians did know about his injury and tried to force that man to get on that field, and because he chose his health in him over being on that field, and Bruce Arians gave him the slit throat, talking about he's done, Bruce Arians needs to be fired and removed from that organization, because he has no integrity, for one, because you clearly came on the air after that game and claimed that you knew nothing of any sort of what was going on. All you stated was he was no longer, which makes you even wonder, because one of the main things Bruce Arians said in that interview was AB was no longer Antonio Brown was no longer a member of the Bucks. He made sure everybody knew that. And with Antonio Brown's message, it clearly shows that he said that Bruce Arians told him he was done because he was not getting back on that field. And for you as a coach, if that's what you truly did, you do not deserve to be the head coach of that organization no more. You need to be removed. You need to either resign, or that front office needs to fire you as the head coach of that organization, because your integrity is shot. I don't know in what world you do not take the consideration of the player's health or injury in consideration. If the man tell you he can't go, man. He can't go. And then he has the documentation from the doctors with the results showing just how bad his ankle injury is. Showing you just how bad his ankle injury is. So if that's the case, Bruce Arians doesn't have a leg to stand on, man. Doesn't have a leg to stand on. And I'm waiting. I heard they're saying Tom Brady has an interview today, here probably in the next hour. He's supposed to have an interview at 12 o'clock our time, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'm sure that's going to be an ask of Tom Brady. But a lot of people even say Tom Brady, by his comments from the after the game, even shows that he possibly knew it was more to it than that. That's why he said don't be so judgmental of Antonio Brown. So they feel like Tom Brady knew something about the situation. It is I absolutely agree with you, Erica. It is a cutthroat business. It is a cutthroat business. But the fact of the matter is that if Bruce Arians know he said that to Antonio Brown, it has to be like 30 or 40 something witnesses out there that also heard it. So it's not like he can come in there and lie. It's not like he can come back and lie and say he didn't say it, because I'm sure it was too many witnesses or too many people to sit there and see, because it happened on the sideline. It literally happened on the sideline. So people had to notice it. People noticed him taking his stuff off and leaving, so it had to know. And again, I'm hoping they interview Mike Evans, because he was the last person that we saw him, because we didn't even see Antonio Brown talking to Bruce Arians. All we saw was Antonio Brown talking to Mike Evans and him taking his stuff off. We never saw any interaction with him and Mike and Bruce Arians, between AB and the coach. All we saw was the interaction between AB and Mike Evans. So I'm hoping they ask Mike Evans for an interview, and Mike Evans can shine some light, even more light, on what actually took place. But in my opinion, Bruce Arians if that did take place, and if that is how it actually went down, Bruce Arians needs to go.
And as you say, you bring a good point to this discussion, because when you look at it, you take in consideration, they always say there's so many microphones and cameras at them games and on the fields where everything should
People
be
mic'd up and stuff.
People mic'd up, like you can only think that there had to be there's some footage out there. I'm very sure they're scouring the tapes and stuff like that. That there's some footage out there in which they can see and look back over and see if any of this is valid. You know what I'm saying? Not to discourage or not
I'm
to
surprised somebody didn't get it on their cell phone, Trey, because even initially the other day they did have somebody on their cell phone showing from the stands, people showing from the stands somebody video AB taking off his stuff and talking to Mike Evans. That's how I found out he was talking to Mike Evans, because it was from a personal cell phone. Okay. That's only because you didn't see it at first from what the NFL showed. All they showed was him taking off his stuff. You didn't see him talking you see him talking to somebody, but you couldn't see who it was. But from that personal cell phone, you seen it was Mike Evans.
And so it continues. The plot continues to thicken. We'll continue to monitor it as it goes. Every day, every passing day, it seems to be something new. They have not released them yet, but of course they're trying to go forth. As I read, they are in connection with the NFL to see what needs to happen and what they should be doing going forth. Of course, as this continues to come out, this brings new things to light. Of course, we'll have more tomorrow, probably some questions in general, because we have reached our time for today. But
Yeah.
it's still some question to be asked. Like, I want to know how many people believe, as Bishop was saying, that if Bruce Arians did exactly what he done, should he be fired or reprimanded for that gesture? Of course, it's been players that have been fined or basically punished for the same gestures with the cutting of the throat or anything like that, saying it's a menacing gesture. So of course, yes, we have more. These is more to talk about. Like I said, the plot continues, as well as whatever news that comes about. There's some other topics in which we can discuss. So it has been a great morning. I'm glad to have been able to interact. We are glad to have been able to interact with you all. We look forward to it more. Bishop, any parting words before we let this formation go?
Oh no, man! Like you said, appreciate y'all for those that tuned in. My little brother who's on here, Dante, Brandon, or all those who chimed in and gave us
Vanessa,
comments.
Erica.
Vanessa, Erica, all y'all. We definitely appreciate y'all, man. We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in to First Formation, the morning sports talk show, every morning, Monday through Friday, from 0900 or 9 o'clock for you civilian personnel to 1100 hours and 11 o'clock for you civilian personnel. Every Monday through Friday. We're coming here bringing you the sports, man, all across the world, man, as much as possible, and trying to get you the ins and outs of what's going on across sports media and stuff like that. But to a great morning, shouts out to you, Trey, for a great show along with me.
Yes, sir. You too, sir.
Man, it's been fun. I loved it. Again, it's Thursday. We got one more day of the show, and then we go into the weekend.
Yes, be sure to tune in tomorrow, as
Tomorrow,
we
yes.
definitely going to have a conversation about the upcoming NFL games, get a perspective, get some picks, see so we can
National
see
championship game on Monday. We got
national championship money coming on Monday. Like
yes.
it's plenty of content in which
Mhm.
we look forward to having you guys sit up and to go down this trek with us as we bring this to you every morning. So be sure to be here tomorrow, like you said, 09, 1100 hours, bright and early, first formation.
First
But,
formation.
you got anything else for him, bro?
No, that's it, man. Make sure y'all fall in on time, man.
Yes, sir. So at this point, group attention, fall out.
Roll fight.